Hi, I'm Mika Truman, and welcome to my YouTube channel as well as Frankincense School of Mystical Arts. So when I started to go through my psychic awakening, some of the things that I experienced was it was really weird. It was really odd. When I finally did kind of get rid of certain relationships in my life that was very heavy and that were very, very toxic, I started to realize that it was kind of really weird. It was really odd. But the day that these individuals left my life and they were gone, that exact day, I started to really feel some kind of weird little bit of pressure on the top of my head. And there was no reason, there was no explanation, but I just started to kind of feel this weirdness on the top of my head, and it was very odd. And then I started to kind of see different things. I would see a lot of shadow figures. I would see people and start talking to people, and I would start to see different things that they had going on in their life. I would hear the voices. I would hear them talking to me. I was starting to see those that were deceased, that were crossed over. And mind you, I thought I was totally insane. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was nuts because it was coming in so strong. And I could see all of these different things that I totally had no explanation for. And I was talking to a gentleman that I worked with, and all of a sudden I started getting all this information about his dad and about that he had heart issues. And I started to see all these black marks, and I warned him, please, you got to really kind of check up on your dad, because I think he's going through some kind of issues or some weird stuff there. And then I just started to be able to just read all this stuff about everybody in my office. And it was weird because it was just like getting totally flooded with tons and tons of information. And I had no idea where it was even coming from, what it was about. And I would even see where people walking down the street, but I could see next to them where there were people standing next to them. But I could tell like that they were crossed over. They were in older clothes. They were in even like clothes from the 30s and the 40s. So I knew that they had crossed over. But I saw them following them around and talking to them. And even though they weren't even being receptive to them, they weren't responding to them, but these spirits were following them around and talking to them, just as if they knew that they were there and they were together, that they were a couple. But it was just a talking. But you could tell that the one person had no idea that there was anyone standing next to them whatsoever. But I just started seeing and hearing all these voices. And I had a very dear psychic friend, and I said, this is totally even freaking me out. I don't know what is going on with me. And I explained what I was seeing. And I was even seeing past life stuff where I was seeing life from the 1700s and different things that happened to different people. And I would see people, and then I would see their past life, and I would put it all together. And mind you, at the time, I didn't even believe in past lives whatsoever. But I just started to see all these things. And then this pressure on my head, it didn't go away. It lasted for myself about 30 days. And then all of a sudden, overnight, it was vanished. It was gone. But I had such a huge awakening where I would be able to, I could see the future. I could see different events in the future. I could even see different events that were going to happen. I had smells from the other side. It was all of it. And it had flooded in as a rush so quickly and so fast. I said to my friend who was intuitive, I said, this is what's happening. What am I going to do? And she said, you can turn it off. You can turn it off and you can go back to it anytime. It's always going to be there. And she helped me really process all of this. And if it wasn't for her, I swear I probably would have just admitted myself in a mental institution, because this was years ago. And psychic and intuitive gifts weren't really spoken of. It wasn't anything that it wasn't on YouTube channels. It wasn't anywhere. And so just automatically assuming like, okay, I've lost my mind. Now I've gone crazy. Okay. And no, it was just being more this awakening that I was going through this beautiful spiritual time where I was becoming more open to my gifts. And then I was able to really start to develop them, because your psychic, intuitive, and empathic mediumship gifts, they're like muscles. And the more that you use them, the more that they're going to be more receptive to you. They're going to interact with you. They're going to trust you as you're going to trust them, because it's energy, and we work off of energy. And once you open up and your third eye awakens, your body and the spirits really connect, and the angels and the guides that are helping you through this process, they embrace that you want to really embrace the gifts that they're giving to you. Because most of the time our gifts are from past lifetimes, past experiences, and they are different. They're from different contracts that we have before we came here. And it's even from the ascended masters, and it's from the psychic schools that you all went to. Because if you're here on this earth right now, chances are you have these gifts, whether you use them, whether you're connected to them or not. Most likely you have them, because we are going through such a transition right now. The earth and the planet is going through such a beautiful awakening, a rebirth. And they are calling for all of you who you volunteered to come down here to help in this transition and in this rebirth, to help your neighbors and help your friends and your family all transition and greatly evolve and shift your energy. Because when you shift, then I shift and others shift, and we all shift the vibration of the planet. Not everyone will shift. And that's their choice, and that's okay too. Some of them will totally refuse to be open to any of these thoughts whatsoever, and they're going to be so lost and so focused in the ego that they won't even be aware of it, and they don't want anything to even do with it because it's weird. Maybe it's weird. Maybe they're scared of it. Maybe they're afraid of it. But we're going through this beautiful awakening process, and people are waking up, and they're becoming more psychic and more intuitive and more empathic than ever before. We are going through the most beautiful time that you probably will never, ever experience in your lifetime, ever. So please become more aware of your gifts and your beautiful psychic, intuitive, all of your empathic abilities, because they are part of you and they're part of who you are. And if you have them, use them. It's time. We need you. So until next time, jump over to fsma.life, and there's lots of free stuff over there. There's also some great psychic courses available as well for a small fee. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care.